Okie doke, let's look at how we can find the inverse of a function. Now, this is a pretty handy thing to know how to do. There's really some neat math applications to inverses. So let's look at how we would go about solving it. First off, we need a little notation. Here's how you label an inverse. F to the negative 1 of x. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you see that little negative 1 right next to the function symbol, then you know that we're talking about the inverse. So let me give you the rundown really quick on what we're going to do. To find the inverse, you need to flip the x and the y values. And then solve for y. All right, that's all rather cryptic till you see it worked out. So let's see it worked out. So how about you have something like y equals 3x plus 6. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to flip the x and the y variables. So there is my y variable. There is my x variable. So let's flip them. So I'm going to have x equals 3y plus 6. Now all that you do is you solve for y. So first you flip, then you solve. So if I have x equals 3y plus 6, and I'm trying to isolate, that's just the fancy word for trying to get that variable, the y variable, by itself, that just means I want to move everything else to the other side of the equation. So let's go ahead and do that. Well, I want to get y by itself, so the first thing I'm going to want to do is take away 6. So if I take away 6 from one side, I should take it away from the other side. The 6's will cancel out, leaving me with x minus 6 equals 3 times y. I'm almost done. Now, if I want to get y by itself, I have to do the opposite of multiplying it by 3, which is dividing it by 3. The 3's are going to cancel out. So I've got x minus 6 over 3 equals y. And that's the inverse. So we know that, if you want to kind of, maybe you could write it like this. We know that f of x equals 3x plus 6. F inverse of x equals x minus 6 over 3. And that's pretty much all that you do. You have to be pretty sharp at being able to isolate how to solve for a variable, but it's not bad. So let's look at one more example here. Okay, how about y equals x squared minus 4. So the first thing you do is you flip them. So I've got x equals y squared minus 4. And the next thing I do is I solve. So solve for y. So here's what I'm trying to solve for. So if I have x equals y squared minus 4, I'm going to want to add 4 to each side. which is going to give me x plus 4 equals y squared. So in order to get rid of a y squared, or y to the power of 2, I have to take the square root of it. So if I have x plus 4 squared, I have to take the square root of both sides. This is going to leave me with y on this side, and this is going to leave me, don't forget that plus or minus. That plus or minus is very important. Plus or minus the square root of x plus 4. And then this is what the inverse is going to equal. So first you flip them, flip the x and the y, and then you solve for y. And that's how you find the inverse.